2018 Mercedes-Benz V-Class Review. The good points of Mercedes-Benz V-Class: massive interior, luxury car technology, easy they are driving, efficient engines. The bad points of Mercedes-Benz V-Class: expensive to acquire, noisy diesel engines, still looks very van-like, fuel filler frustration. This may be the Mercedes-Benz V-Class, a gargantuan MPV meant to appeal to well-heeled large families, active sporty types and firms offering luxury transport services. It's the third-generation Mercedes of the type, essentially an expensive people carrier version from the Vito van. The V-Class resurrects the name used on the first iteration and replaces the Viano. It has few direct rivals, but chief among them will be the evergreen Volkswagen Caravelle. More recently the Citroën Space Tourer, Peugeot Traveller and Toyota Prius Verso have joined the fray, although none match the plushness offered inside Mercedes. There's also the long-in-the-tooth Hyundai i800, or in case you're after something more left field, and a little more conventional car-like, then think about the less expensive SsangYong Turismo. Shedding its van image, Mercedes-Benz is keen to reduce the V-Class's commercial vehicle ties and calls on contemporary design cues on the likes from the class to incorporate more car-like features, while an AMG line trim level complete using a sporty body can lift the outdoors further. There's an exclusive two-section dashboard design in addition to high-quality seat materials, again borrowing heavily on the look from the class's cabin. Its swooping lines are a global away on the Vito's angular cliff of plastic. Inevitably there's a but or two, though. While its perpendicular flanks liberate many interior space, they guarantee the outside remains van-like, as you move. The low-mounted fuel filler flap, secured from the front passenger door, is reminiscent not just in the Vito, but virtually every one of that commercial rivals. Propulsion emanates from Mercedes' venerable 2.1-liter twin-turbocharged diesel accessible in a selection of two power outputs. The V220D has 163 horsepower, the V250D offering 190 horsepower. Both transmit their ability to the spine wheels with a 7-speed automatic gearbox. It's the less powerful in the pair that's marginally a lot more efficient. Nevertheless, the superior performance in the V250D causes it to become easier to live on with. Spacious and practical. There are many practical features, including a separately opening rear window attached for the upper tailgate frame. When as well as the flexible boot storage, this implies items may be loaded to the vehicle and never have to open the rather large rear door, handy for car parks where space is restricted. The size on the electrically operated tailgate itself causes it to become ideal, being a rain shelter, should an unexpected downpour catch you, and providing you've got the bedroom to open it. Interior space within the V-Class is impressive. It's accessible in three lengths: standard, long and extra long, with a selection of 7 or 8-seater configurations according to whether you specify a 3-seater bench for that middle row. The driver and front passenger get 4-way lumbar support, and also seat heating, while fully electrical adjustment from the seats is suggested. Contemporary onboard technology. Technology is often a Mercedes hallmark that's prevalent inside the V-Class, such as combined touchpad and rotary dial multimedia controller. This clever amount of kit enables the motive force to scroll over the various menus displayed for the screen because of their fingertips, comparable to how you manage a smartphone. There's to choose Infotainment Systems providing the latest Satan of technology, Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi hotspot, though it uses your smartphone for tethering as an alternative to having its own 4G connection. It's well equipped, too, with including the entry-level sport versions including a 7.0-inch multimedia screen with sat-nav, an entire leather interior, LED headlamps, 2 electrically operated sliding doors and ambient lighting with 3 color settings. It can also be available using a plethora of safety measures, including blind spot assist to warn you of oncoming traffic in the rear, lane keeping assist that vibrates the tire when you veer on the white lines, and Distronic adaptive cruise control. An optional 360-degree camera makes maneuvering this huge car much simpler and should be chief on the list of extras you plump for. The verdict: if carrying people along with their luggage is really a priority, then very little else on the market manages it in these plush surroundings because Mercedes-Benz V-Class. Its size might be intimidating for most drivers, as well as its height restricts having access to multi-story car parks, but essentially it's both simple and comfortable to push. Watch on for that full Mercedes-Benz V-Class review exactly how good the pinnacle of van-based MPVs in fact is. 2 diesels are typical that are offered. Extra performance on the V250D is welcome. All of classes use a 7-speed automatic. While deficiencies in petrol engines for UK market Mercedes-Benz V-Classes isn't a surprise, that there's no hybrid version can be something of a disappointment. For British V-Class customers, performance is served up by the pair of twin-turbo diesel engines. Entry-level Mercedes-Benz V220D. Under the V-Class's bonnet, and nestled underneath the windscreen and dashboard in truth, is Mercedes' familiar, somewhat clattery, 2.1-liter diesel unit. In V220D guise, formerly V220 Blue Tech, that compatible 163 horsepower and 380 Nm of torque from 1,400 revolutions per minute, meaning it's no sprinter. Top speeds quoted at 121 miles per hour, whilst the 062 miles per hour use of 11.8 seconds isn't any more than adequate. Thankfully the 7-speed 7-tronic plus automatic transmission is fantastic, with smooth shifts and sensible gearing per ratio, allowing it to be settled at both urban and motorway speeds. It's only during spells of hard acceleration that this motor becomes raucous. Gutsier Mercedes-Benz V250D. If performance is more of any priority, or if you regularly drive on vacation where gathering speed quicker is useful, then this V250D launched because the V250 Blue Tech in 2015 could be the V-Class to get. To refer to it quick is surely an overstatement, but it's brisk enough to surprise other drivers, which has a 9.1-second 062 miles per hour serious amounts of a 129 miles per hour top speed. These figures are possible as a result of power being cranked approximately 190 horsepower, which has a complementary improvement in peak torque to 440 Nm, still on tap from 1,400 revolutions per minute. Variable driving modes. Some may believe that just because Mercedes does have its Agility Select driving mode system it doesn't mean the V-Class really needs it too. But it does. Every time you set about the car it defaults to comfort, an average throttle response, gear changes lower along the rev range and much more supple damping to the suspension. It's fine about but once you need more response, as well as a slightly firmer feel for the handling, sport should you choose, but be warned this makes the engine noisier since the gears are held onto for a long time. The remaining 2 modes are manual. Do you really need they are driving it using the tire pedals and eco. This more fuel-efficient setting sounds worthy, but it's extremely unresponsive and also the miles per gallon uplift is negligible. Handling provides improvement over its size suggests. Corners well but body roll is ever present. V-Class handles best when it's being driven gently. It doesn't matter how clever you might be, beating the laws of physics just isn't for the cards, as well as the V-Class can never quite be capable of shake off its van-like handling characteristics. After all, to use lengthiest two guises, it's comfortably 5 meters nose to tail, almost 2 meters tall and more than 2 tons in weight. However, Mercedes claims it's made great inroads to increasing the experience for V-Class drivers thanks for the agility control, the latest generation of adaptive electronic stability control escape systems and the automobile's air suspension arrangement. Certainly the V-Class corners faster than its some van-driven rivals, and resists understeer admirably, though a standard car-based MPV will more than likely still outdo it within the same part of road. There offers some noticeable body roll, negated somewhat in sport mode, especially with high-speed direction changes, and you soon figure out how to either trust the traction offered through the chassis or decrease instead. Drive the V-Class while using cruise control on and the vehicle's own settings will slow you down whether or not this deems that this speed and steering angle aren't appropriate. It does play this game just a little too safely, and you can always override it along with your right foot. Mercedes is aware with the limitations that such boxy packaging affords, as well as the intelligent drive system runs on the variety of radar, camera and ultrasound sensors to enhance the experience around the move, including crosswind assist to decrease the impact of lateral gusts billowing in the V-Class's flanks. In archetypal Mercedes style, the steering is for the light side as well as the V-Class's controls don't encourage one to press on too difficult. It can be, in the end, an automobile that performs best when driven gently. Although the brake pedal itself is firm, the Mercedes stopping power inspires confidence, having an impressive capability to slow the V-Class down rapidly from speed as a result of ventilated discs front and back. V-Class dash isn't remotely such as Vito vans, but the driving position seems like a commercial vehicle. Class S controls and interior styling abound. Climb aboard and it also certainly looks impressive. The V-Class's forebears are actually lumbered with all the van dashboard tarted up with mini appliques and also a broader spectrum of colored plastic, but this can be altogether different. It borrows a comparable layout and design font it's seen from the Class and GLC ranges, along using a suite of the company's solid-feeling switchgear. The curving dash top, that is finished in a very leather-look material, flows neatly into the doors and feels much more grown-up and civilized over van-based vehicle has any to certainly. In fact, the sole aspect that remains like a reminder of the commercial vehicle origins could be the driving position, which, while comfortable, is high and upright. You can never kid yourself you're piloting an SUV. Quality is a useful one, and can buyers expect more with this price? While the Class-like interior is often a sound basis, it's worth remembering which the V-Class's pricing places it alongside the bigger echelons with the A-Class range, and when it reaches this point it underwhelms somewhat, just about feeling high enough quality with regard to grades of plastic. Still, it's day and night compared to using the angular, hard plastic facade that Vito drivers face. The leather-clad tire is comfortable to support and features many on the controls needed to operate the vehicle's numerous multimedia menus plus the central information screen between the main instruments. Thanks to electric seat controls borrowed from your Class, it's very easy to get comfortable in the driver's seat, which is additionally adjustable for reach and drag. Although the scene outside is extremely good thanks to your enormity from the windows, the windscreen pillars have become chunky. Yes, there's a smaller triangle of glass ahead with the front doors in traditional MPV style, playing with all honesty they're more towards the benefit of exterior design, as we discussed precious little away from them. A fantastic long-distance cruiser. Space and comfort for approximately 8 adults. All-round climate control is most effective. Considering its Vito van-based origins, Mercedes-Benz V-Class comfort is surprisingly good. There's little on the crashing, banging and rattling around over surface changes as obtained in many rivals, the firm claiming that your stiffer body shell cuts down on vibrations which will make their way to the cabin, while air suspension increases its pliancy. At speed especially the ride quality is impressive, managing to float gently over most road imperfections through an ease quite like Mercedes executive saloons, while it has to be noted by investing in just the driver from the car the V-Class feels less well-planted. Thanks to best-in-class aerodynamics wind noise isn't an issue, despite door mirrors the size spades. More obvious is engine noise under hard acceleration and tire roar, especially when there are few people inside car as well as the vast cabin acts such as a mobile echo chamber. That resonance from driving on parts of concrete motorway quickly becomes tiresome. The seats are leather-clad, together with the front ones electrically adjustable and heated for a small fee. Integral armrests make sure you feel suitably hemied, while those inside the rear are equally sumptuous and adult-sized. Middle row seats, whether there is a three-seater bench or the couple of captain's chairs, can face forwards or backwards, while all from the back seats might be slid around on floor-mounted rails. They fold forwards and could be reclined, although should you intend to eliminate them to make use of those van-like internal dimensions, then you'd best get yourself a few workout routines at the gym through your belt first. If there is a Burmester upgraded speaker system, there's also a voice amplification system to ensure that the driver can take a civilized conversation for the move with those inside rearmost number of seats and the opposite way round. Climate control is, mercifully, for sale in all three rows, having a separate temperature control to the rear compartment and 4 roof-mounted vents. Even on hot days it soon cools around the cabin, but with such a large level of air to chill it can be invariably noisy for the initial few minutes before desired temperature is better being reached. Ventilation could be improved further by opting to begin to have the side windows open at their trailing edges, as an alternative to winding down such as glass for the front doors. There's a visual downside on this arrangement since the chrome look strip on the base and the windows is deleted, making the V-Class look more van-like to be a consequence. Only 2 trim levels within the range. Both are well appointed, though. Vast choice of options available. Ignore the 3 lengths along with the different seating configurations, along with the V-Class is often a relatively simple range, using a pair of trim levels on both on the engine options. Standard Mercedes-Benz V-Class MPV equipment. Sport. Entry point towards the V-Class range it will be, even so the Sport isn't spared niceties from your equipment list. 18-inch alloy wheels. LED headlamps and tail lights. Rear privacy glass. Panoramic glass roof long versions only. Roof rails with anodized finish. Electric side doors. Electric tailgate with separately opening tailgate glass. Electrically folding door mirrors with auto-dimming rear view mirror. Active parking assist with reversing camera. Tricolored ambient lighting. Audio 20 multimedia package with Garmin SatNav. Napa leather upholstery. Heated front seats with integral armrests. AMG line. Choose the range-topping class, not for really performance but also for a boosted kit roster. 19-inch alloy wheels. AMG body kit with different back and front bumpers, side sill extensions as well as a tailgate spoiler. Metallic paint. Carbon fiber look interior appliques. Chrome air vent bezels. Optional Mercedes-Benz V-Class MPV extras. Like some other car in Mercedes range, the V-Class is available using a wide array of optional extras, many of which are for the pricey side. Safety-specific choices are covered inside section below. Included within the exhaustive list of choices are 7-seater layout with pop-up table in place of 8 seats, long and extra long versions only. Standard of V-Class has 7 seats without a table. Upgraded command multimedia system with 8.4-inch screen and internet connection capabilities. Burmester multi-channel surround sound speaker package. Electrically adjustable front seats with memory package. 360-degree camera system. Load compartment divider with 2 collapsible boxes. Full 5-star rating from Euro NCAP. Raft of safety kits as standard. Optional driving assistance pack is worthwhile. Mercedes-Benz carries a long-established history of vehicle safety, so it's hardly surprising that once the V-Class was crash-tested with the experts at Euro NCAP, it absolutely was awarded an entire 5-star rating. Standard throughout the range are child locks with the electrically sliding rear doors, automatic wipers and LED lights back and front with automatic main beam and brake lights that glow brighter the quicker the interest rate of deceleration. A self-parking function is standard, but we might recommend complementing that with all the optional 360-degree camera system. Attention alert monitors the trucker for signs and symptoms of drowsiness, even though the collision prevention assist feature gains advantage from autonomous emergency braking to mitigate against lower speed accidents. Crosswind assist stops the V-Class from wandering across the road in high side winds, especially at higher speeds and open areas. Key safety options include lane tracking package. Lane keeping assist vibrates the wheel when the vehicle ventures over lines about the road, with blind spot assist flagging up markers inside the door mirror glass if the vehicle detects another vehicle approaching from behind. Driving assistance package adds on the above features with pre-safe that monitors the chance of an accident and primes the security systems, including tightening leading seatbelts and Distronic adaptive cruise control. How many ICE fix points does the Mercedes-Benz V-Class MPV have? All of classes have 4 ICE fix points. On bench seats, they can be located within the center and all side positions, while captain's chairs possess a set each. Vast interior with space for 8. 3 lengths available, each is roomy. Seats are extremely heavy and hard to get rid of. Much however the firm would like to distance itself from such comparisons, being based on a van means Mercedes-Benz V-Class practicality is nearly exemplary. Certainly there's no reason to worry about running from interior room, and leg, shoulder and headroom are easily obtainable in abundance thanks on the vast cabin. There's genuine space for approximately 8 adults as well as their luggage. Unless you will need 8 seats, we'd recommend the 7-seater package complete, which has a handy pop-up table on long and extra long V-Classes. It works particularly well if your middle row faces backwards, creating more of any lounge feel within the back. Folding the seats is definitely an easy job, as is also sliding them across the cabin, though removing them completely is usually a job for a couple due to their weight. Slotting them back into the rail system needs a degree of deftness that further slows on the operation. Slightly disappointingly, there's little stowage space for odds and ends about the cabin. There's a covered cubby with the base and the dash having a couple of cup holders and USB points, complemented by well-sized door bins and also a glove box, but besides 4 cup holders inside the back, that's it. The dimensions relate towards the V-Class extra long. Nevertheless, the regular 4,895 mm and long 5,140 mm versions are hardly compact. Inevitably, The nose with the longest version will poke beyond most airport parking spaces. In spite of their, and its particular width, it's the V-Class's height that restricts to park it. At 1,880 mm tall, it's too much for many multi-story car parks. Sign in advance prior to pre-book parking. The load space behind the rearmost seats is similarly impressive, offering nearly 1,410 liters with all the seats in position on extra-long versions. Remove a corner chair's known that jumps to 4,630 liters. Even because of the seats in position, probably the most compact V-Class will swallow 610 liters of luggage, the long approximately 1,030 liters. The tailgate glass might be opened separately too, great for tight spaces. The location where the vast boot door is actually large to look at properly. We can't help but recommend the optional luggage area cover featuring its fold-out carry boxes located inside it. They're ideal for containing smaller groceries as an alternative to have them roll around within the boot floor. Mercedes does suggest the V-Class is usually aimed at active outdoor sports people together with families and business shuttle services, but we're unsure many will have the ability to stomach throwing in muddy bikes or sandy surfboards into this type of lavishly equipped cabin. However, a variety of roof boxes and tailgate-mounted cycle racks are offered.